White skin gives me and every white American immunity from the virus, but we spread it wherever we go, through our words, our actions, and our systems. We don't have to be showing symptoms like a white hood or a Confederate flag to be contagious. This one from 2020.
Yeah, and I think an important thing to recognize with all the attacks that are coming from MAGA toward our movement right now, all of them depend on taking these things out of context. All of them depend on cutting some of the quotes before they end or cutting them at the beginning to kind of paint them in the worst possible light. And so in that case, it was a tweet that was part of a larger thread about how we all have a responsibility to combat racism. And so would I word it differently? Would I use a different metaphor? Maybe. But I still believe that racism is wrong. And I still believe that we all have a responsibility to combat it. And I think it's telling when some people are triggered by that. And so I, of course, looking back at some of these old statements from years ago, would maybe word them differently or communicate them differently. But the values that I hold are still the same.
So disingenuous. It might be the worst thing we've heard. What he was saying, and by the way, there was nothing in the context of that X thread that justifies what he was saying. He was denigrating whiteness, but he wants to pretend that all he was doing was opposing racism. Now, we all should oppose racism, but you can and should oppose racism without denigrating whiteness, right? We should be opposed to racial categories. We should treat all people equally, which means you don't denigrate whiteness, you don't denigrate blackness, you don't do any of that. But he wants to pretend that what his critics object to in that past statement is his opposition to racism, when that is not the case at all. That's a disgraceful smear of his critics. It is so nauseatingly dishonest.